You guys are watching some of the biggest stand-up slides I've done to date. I don't do a lot of freeride, so this is pretty special to me. And apart from trying a new setup, the only real thing that I've changed is my wheels. And I really think the 88wheel Moonwalkers have been key to me achieving this stuff. And if you need an excuse to go out and buy these wheels, let this be it. Go out, try them for yourself, and have a good time.
I don't have Snapchat, I'm not easy to contact, I'm old school like that. Yeah, she real cheeky with the back chat. Yeah, you took a good one, let's see if you can back that. She left no room to backtrack, you should see my room, bathing.
And the key thing that makes these wheels so good when you're doing stand-up slides is that edge feel and that feedback when you're in the slide. They have a very confidence-inspiring and forgiving feedback and edge. It really holds you and doesn't suddenly jit or ice out or grip up. It's very consistent and it feels pretty much the same once you're above like 10-20 miles per hour. And honestly, I might get flack for this, but I feel like that edge is slightly more consistent than the edge snakes have. Like, it's really good, or at least it's pretty close. And it's that edge that's given me the confidence to skate faster and kick these wheels out into a slide. Not many wheels have allowed me to do that. And I feel like this consistent edge feel is what separates these wheels from the others and puts it in that top tier category with wheels like the Powell Snakes. And speaking of other wheels, let's get the brains behind the 88wheel brand to tell us more about what magic they put into these wheels. Like 1 second to introduce yourself to people who may not know you.
So I'm Jeremy. I'm the co-founder of 88wheel Co. I've been involved in the skate industry one way or another for quite a while now.
What makes these wheels different from others in the market? I know we're talking about Moonwalkers in this context, but feel free to talk about some of your other products.
The biggest differentiator really is the way in which we make the wheels. So we have some processes that we developed over probably the better part of 5 years in terms of efficiencies and the way in which we make the wheels. So we end up with a wheel that has slightly higher quality than typically the way things have been made in the past, which results in wheels with less bubbles, which result in stronger formulas. So the wheels are more resistant, less likely to chunk, break apart, less defect rates, more concentricity in terms of the actual wheel itself. Our core, so even though it looks like a Kegel core, it's not. It's very different on the inside. One of the key things of that core is that it has a precision bearing seat. So what that means is when you pop a bearing in, doesn't matter which bearing it is, it'll be as true as possible so that the wheels will wear evenly and roll slightly better. Because typically in the skate industry, there's no real standards for anything. So when we were designing this core, one of the big things we wanted to do is to make sure that we at least adhered to some standards. So we follow SKF standards for basically bearing seats when we designed the core, so that when you pop a bearing in, it's very easy to go in. It's not too tight, it's not too loose. It's kind of just the perfect fit, and that really helps with keeping as centered as possible and rolling as true as possible, which makes the wheel just work as it should. So it wears evenly, it does what you want it to do, and all the rest of it.
And these wheels also have a pretty icy slide and they're durable as well. They're also extremely flat spot resistant. Like a lot of those big stand-up slides I've been doing, I have 100% been 90 blasting, and these wheels really haven't ovaled on me at the moment. And considering all those features, not only do they make a great stand-up wheel, but I think they'd also make a great wheel for a beginner. If you're looking for something that's really durable to learn slides on, this is a great option. And for its size, which is 65mm, this wheel actually rolls pretty okay. With a large core, it makes it reflect a lot of road vibration, but the soft 78A urethane actually absorbs a little bit of that. But it's really not bad for its size. It rolls pretty well. And speaking of rough roads, the slide does actually feel pretty much the same on rougher roads. It's a little bit more in the pavement, but it still has that very consistent edge. Also, do watch out for that stone grounding. Initially, the wheel is incredibly slidey, it breaks traction super easily. But once you sort of wear down that stone grounding, it becomes a little bit grippier and you get to the true wheel. But really, I think 88wheel Co has hit the jackpot with these wheels. However, there are some things that I don't like. The thing I really didn't like is how they rolled. I really wish these wheels came in a slightly bigger size, like 70mm, and that would really make them better for going slightly faster. Like, I don't know, I think they could definitely do with going a bit faster, and I think coming in a bigger size would solve that issue, I think. And they are actually surprisingly pretty affordable when you consider the post-industry cost hike freeride wheels of the same size. These typically cost $5 to $10 less, which is like pretty good.
When we were pricing them, as we're a new brand, it made no sense for us to bring out wheels that are more expensive than our competitors because no one's going to buy it. Right. The other advantage we have is like actually being on the ground in China. So I'm in China, you know, I live in China, I work in China. I have direct access to things that we may not necessarily have if we were trying to do the same thing remotely. So if I was in Oz, for example, and trying to make wheels in China, I think it would be a little different in terms of managing our costs, that whole entire supply chain. So being on the ground here, we have a lot more accessibility and control over every little part of it. I think that's a strong indicator as to why we're able to be a bit more efficient in terms of cost. I mean, that said, material costs have gone up like 400%, so it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So you guys are more efficient. I think last time we also had that discussion. You were telling me about how
the production process also helps us in terms of efficiency for cost, because we're doing things a little differently. So we're using a little more automation where possible to minimize the human sort of touch and aspect of it. Not that there's not people involved, it's just that where we can improve efficiency in the process, that's what we'll do.
And that's it for the review, guys. Big thanks to 88wheel for sending me these wheels to review. Big thanks to the subscribers, the patrons, and everyone who's liked and commented on this video. If you've skated these wheels, feel free to leave your experience with them in the comments. I would really appreciate that, and I'm very interested in seeing other people's experiences and hearing feedback from other people. As well, apologies, I didn't get as much footage as I'd have liked for this review, so it's not the best. It is a little bit rushed, and yeah, but big thanks for checking it out. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Y'all take care.
Hey, you have to buy our wheels.